Welcome back to the channel, people. This is No Garage Stuff. If you're new to the channel, welcome. As far as tuning in to the free pickup camper to shed conversion and more, as you can see, we are coming along as far as getting our structure ready for our roof rafters. And our roof rafters, here, let's see if I don't fall, will sit here horizontally, and we've already done our measurements for our 1x6 along with the thickness of new veneer paneling. They match up perfectly to here, so our trimming will go on top without any problems. As you can see, carriage bolts, they consume and consume, but they do have a usage for, as you can see, you are able to start hanging at ready things we utilize for getting things done. This right here is kind of a clue to what's going to happen as far as storage of building materials. We're going to go over here to the 2x6, which definitely needs some more carriage bolts. If you see those two holes in the 2x6, those are actually the pickup points for the horizontal chimney bars that will go the width of the front of the bunkhouse section up to, we'll say, either right here or just there. And we'll be able to load up on sticks and plywood and other long items. Although this was a 8-foot, that's what they consider it, pickup camper, that doesn't mean the inside is 8 feet wide, because you have to deduct the thickness of your wall ends, and we're still short there. But the protruding part of the bunkhouse is actually more than 4 feet, because the bunkhouse at the bottom is 4 feet, but it yanks out considerably more, so we'll be able to stick 12-foot sticks when they're raised on the rack for storage, which will come in handy. But yes, I need to explain why you did not get another video as far as the junkyard trip. We had a bad fall, and it wasn't from the project, this project mainly we're working on right now. I fell somewhere else, and I opened up the side of my head, and we had to rest. And so our junkyard adventure had to wait. So that's the explanation for the video not being dropped, and the delay in the normal weekend video drop. We did go to our home improvement center, and if you've watched previous videos, this project likes to consume carriage bolts, and this current run, shall we say, they'll get consumed. That's good for at least a couple of weeks worth of, at my pace, doing what needs to be done. These 2x6s are for the vent opening. We'll go back there. Here. Those will be the full width rafters for the vent opening, because those rafters are half rotted and not rotted, but we're just going to replace them all. And here's another tip for you. If you want to take my advice, if you want to save some money, go to your dollar store. You can buy a very large one for $1.25, or some of the dollar stores are still having dollar items. That's the most efficient and cost-effective way to buy utility paintbrushes. If you want to reuse them, you can just cut a gallon of milk container in half, fill it up with a little bit of gasoline or acetone, or even hot soapy water, and clean them up, and they'll be good for the next turn. Let's see right here. This is kind of like, where a result of our family, we decided to go with dumpster brown. Um, Probably mainly due to the fact of the environment, being that it's outdoors. It will mask the dust and dirt that will find its way onto the sides. So that's what we got. Dumpster brown. That's what my uncle in his long time ago GMC pickup truck. I think that had metallic flake in it though, so it wasn't true dumpster brown. But what we're gonna do with that dumpster brown, rather than just doing the whole plywood protection, as far as when moisture does find its way underneath the siding and gets in here, it will be protection. But I think we're going to delete after the bunkhouse section siding ends, which is about right here somewhere, along with this being dumpster brown, all this area. We're going to try to find a design element to incorporate it in the white. As far as complementary colors, I think if we do a swoosh or some angles done correctly the right way, the dumpster brown and the white won't clash on the complementary color wheel chart, shall we say. But we do have that window. We do have the 2 bunkhouse windows. They're rounded in, so they'll be stronger. And I think you've seen this one. It's not rounded, but we got a good deal on it. And when you get a good deal on stuff, just do it. That right there, the slider, is for here. And there is a reason we haven't installed it yet. We do have our plywood section, the top sucked up now. As you noticed, there's no more big gap up there compared to down here. They're both even. We'll need to goop it up. We'll need to put an inside kicker in here to deal with this right here. And I think I mentioned goop it up still. Goop this up. We got to have 2.5 inch carriage bolts in here for the kickers. What I mean by kickers is there's a kicker on the other side of this plywood. Get those all bunkered up, and then we can initially put the window in with a few screws and maybe just a light coat of sealant until we're ready to put our siding on. But the siding is going to be the last thing that actually gets permanently affixed. Yeah, that I explained it pretty well. Oh no, we got another thing. We did take a little retro artistic interpretation levity and increasing our overhang. As you notice that, as far as the length, it is period correct. Back in the day, 50s through the 70s, the different makers of RVs would always do some weird stuff back here. We just kept it conventional. Hold on, we've got a plane spotting interruption. I don't know if you can see it. I love it when they have them stacked upon each other. There's one there, and there's one about 5 miles ahead of it, and they're flying pretty low. I'd say that's about 18,000 feet, so 10,000 feet from here. Yeah, anyway, back to this area. This will provide us with a little bit more immediate runoff protection from the rain. And we're going to just get some all-purpose aluminum flashing for the extension to pair up with the slight increase in length. See these cracks here? There's several in the roof. We're not worried about that. We'll drill holes at the end of the cracks, because if you don't drill holes, the crack will continue to propagate. Is that the word? Something along that line. And then we'll patch it from the inside with spare stuff. And what I mean by that, let's go over here. Although we have actually gotten rid of a lot of the stuff, this stuff is gold in terms of money. We'll just cut out some round circles with their chin snips and rivet them in from the bottom side with a lot of goop. So yeah, and this pickup camper was originally the wing section from the bed up to the wings. It was all encased in aluminum, and it probably led to a lot of the rot problems. They thought they were doing a good thing, but what that did was just trap water in the plywood and the conventional lumber. So, oh well, so much for them. What we've done with our stubbies, I think I mentioned them. We bought that one 70% off 2x6. Here's our stubby for our 2x6 to graft onto now. Now we'll have something on the bottom for the aluminum siding to fasten into at the bottom. Both sides, we just got this one mocked up over here, but you get an idea. Our measurements are perfect. We're at 86 a quarter and about a line, which that's close to perfection as you can get. We'll need to level this off. We'll drill in 3 bolts, holes for bolts, carriage bolts, and yeah, we'll be set. And then we can take our 2x6, put it in here so it's flush with there and there. And that's that. That hoopty light bar thing, it's not as bad as it looks as far as damage to the aluminum roof. And we'll utilize the same method I just told you about with the cracks, and it'll be fine. Before we actually do the final repair, as far as the process, we're going to take our circular brass grinding wheel, and we're going to clean up the aluminum well, but still leave it rough, so the sealant grabs well and protects for many years, long after we're gone. So I think that pretty much explains it. Oh yeah, we did have a little oopsie doopsie. This thing actually split in half right here, so we just glued it up, and that's why the C-clamp is right there. We could have replaced it, but knowing now the properties of the sealant that we're using right now, it's almost like epoxy-like. It'll be stronger than it was originally, and once it's fully cured, we'll take the C-clamp off, and it'll be good as gold, shall we say. Don't know what we're going to do with the bunkhouse, because I don't think it's going to take too much weight. So we'll either have to put it on stilts or some 45s on the ends. But being that this isn't the final storage place for this, we'll have to figure out something that's sound, so when we do load up the bottom, it won't buckle it or compromise it in any way. We did forget to get another 1x6 at the home improvement center, but it's okay. We need to put carriage bolts in here, so this has a nice firm sound grip to the 2x6, as you've seen in previous videos. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go right ahead and watch them. As you can see, these are 3/8 carriage bolts, and they go all the way up to the 2x6, so the ends of the plywood are grabbing onto something sound and solid. So yeah, we don't know what we're going to do with that birch, but we do have plans for this piece of birch. Just like an aircraft, if you've ever been on a plane or seen a cargo plane, they always have interior panels on the inside to keep from compromising the even thicker aluminum skin of the plane. We're going to use this for the inside on the easy pieces, like the bottom portion that's not curved. So when we start throwing things in the bunkhouse section, it won't immediately stab right through the aluminum siding. So I think I've explained in a previous video, I'm not really all that gung-ho on the birch plywood. I don't think it was ever meant for outside applications and so forth. And it really likes to, as you can see right here, it doesn't do too well with even a fine jigsaw or circular saw. It doesn't take it too well. So yeah, it's kind of brittle. But the reason we found that out, and why that one, which was here, if you haven't watched previous videos, we didn't get the right interior height, so we had to stick a 4-foot 4x8 and place it here, even though we did trim off the ends because it's not a 8-foot wide pickup camper. And you can see the difference. We're going to address that with carriage bolts, sealant. I think we'll just leave the seam there. I don't think it's a big deal. And this is being replaced right here, or we'll end up using whatever is left over from the 4x8 that's going up here. I think we should have got another 3/4 4x8 plywood section, but we'll figure it out. I mean, it's just money anyway, right? Just burns. I did mention the dumpster brown. The home improvement center didn't have the circlip for the chainsaw thingy right here. So we'll have to try Rip Off Central, Ace, Do It Best, or True Value and see if they have circlips in their hardware section. That's the area with the little boxes you pull out. You get the nut, bolt, clip, this and that. But the home improvement center that begins with an H didn't have any of those at all in their hardware section. And as you can see, we've loaded up on carriage bolts, and they will be consumed like they always seem to be consumed. And these are the 2.5s for the little kickers on the side. And these are for the starboard back wall section, so the plywood is firmly mounted as far as the wall. The back of the wall doesn't want to pull out like it tried to pull out on the port side. These right here, I think these are 4.5. These are for the plywood floor. Goes up into the 2x4s, so the floor can't move around. And this is going to eventually have a double wall floor with foam and then another sheet of 3/4 on the bottom. So that gives you an idea what's going on, and they will get consumed fairly easily. We didn't go to the junkyard. I think I explained it. I banged up my head pretty good. It wasn't working on this project, but when you had to heal, and priorities as far as when you get older and you get hurt, you just got to take it easy. So let's see if he wants to be a movie star. Hey, can I exploit you for a moment? Okay. Benny Manoka. No. Oh, we can't say your last name. Nope. What you doing, Nook? Dad? Oh, can't you see? I'm just trying to interrupt me from my rest. Yeah, he's a good puppy. Very good dog. Eagle, we haven't done much on it. We do have the fuel pump. I think I mentioned it in one of the last videos. We're going to have to start thinking about tires when we pick this thing up. Back in May? June, I think it was. The tires were so dry rotted out. I did not want to pull this with the front tires at least and have a flat, because that would have been a bad situation. And the tire store didn't have any of the larger diameter tires in stock. So this is what we had to deal with. They're brand new. They have 350, 400 miles on them total. The neighbor has already agreed to take them. Naturally, anyone would. He works on cars, and he's got a lot of vehicles. He flips cars, and I think these are already spoken for one of the cars he's going to flip. So we're going to go to a much larger diameter size tire, but we're only going to buy one and see if it has no interference issues. What I mean is when the tires or the wheels are at full lock, to the right to the left, and the spring is under full compression, we want to make sure that we don't chew into the plastic, fender flares, what you call these or whatever, or the seals or floor, or the frame rails and so forth. But it's wanting to go. It's gonna, it's gonna happen. So hopefully the fuel pump we bought, which is from Cheapistan, aka the country that rhymes with Guyana, it works initially. There is gas in the tank, so we're ready to go there. Yeah. As far as the safety thing I was telling you about, I'm not looking forward to getting up on there. I don't think I'm going to have to. What I'm going to do is do the installation here from inside, and then notch the new paneling. If you can see the ends of the paneling, notch them to where the carriage bolts for the horizontal rafters fold into, so we can just bend the paneling and it'll slip up, and then we can retighten the carriage bolts. I think that'd be the safest way to go. This is pretty easy to replace from the inside. We do have a brand new 12 volt vented fan assembly. It too is from Cheapistan, if you know what I mean. So yeah, and then once we remove this paneling, we'll be able to remove all this stuff. We will actually rewire it, put it in a way we can service for future people, or when I'm long dead and gone, or maybe I decide to trade this for something else. It'll be easy to remove the Romax or the light fixture right here, and we'll give it a solid fixture like a plywood insert, so it can mount to something solid, not just the paneling. So we're good there. As you can see, we're utilizing all those carriage bolts protruding for storage of stuff, which is coming in handy. I think I pretty much explained everything as far as an update and why I was not able to load one up this weekend. Your health is your most important priority here, shall we say. Little friend Chore, she's been good as usual. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go in the little car right now. So I mentioned this before, about the engine noise. I don't know if you can see this right here. See this right here? That's a donor replacement crankshaft I pulled out of a junkyard in 17. It's perfect. So that'll solve our timing chain from slopping around on the timing chain cover, because that car has a scored main bearing journal, and when the oil gets warmed up and the engine's hot, it's making adequate oil pressure, but not enough to keep the chain tensioner doing its full job. So if you thought I was joking about having a replacement crankshaft, this is it right here. And I think we will wait on this. Not only after the Eagle is running and driving and reliable and insured and all that. It actually is insured right now, but a drivable car. We're not going to put this little car on the road ever again. We're just going to use it probably as a ranch ATV. We'll do this one first. Somebody stole the top end of the engine, so we're going to have to readdress that issue. So yeah, stuff happens, shall we say, right? So people, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more about this free pickup camper to shed conversion, how it was done, feel free to watch previous videos. I think during the first one or two I dropped, you could kind of get an idea what it actually looked like before the transformation started happening. And when I first started poking around on it, this thing actually fell on me on this side. It fell all the way down to the platform, and the original back wall was up in the air and twisted over and all that. That's how structurally unsound this thing was. So if you purists out there are thinking, you ruined something, how could you do that? Because there's always wackos out there. These are the same people that'll have a really nice classic car, and they'll put it out in the yard. They'll put a tarp on a car, which is the worst thing you can do, a tarp or a car cover, and they'll literally let it rot to the ground, and they're saving it for some stupid reason. But what we're doing here, we're actually saving this in a different repurposed format. We can completely modernize the exterior. We could spend another $1,500, $2,000, put flat aluminum siding on it, or the same motif as far as the rolled beads in it. But that's just throwing money away, and we're saving it. Actually, we have saved it. So any people out there thinking, "Oh, you ruined it," this was not usable anymore. And if anyone thought it was, they were just nuts. And you see these things going down the highway all the time. And especially when people put them in their kids or adults in the back of these pickup campers. I mean, that's just stupidity, because these things are unsafe at any speed. And this thing could barely hold up with last winter's winter load. So we've saved it. We are keeping the retro vibe. I think I explained it already. We kind of took the retro vibe and, added our own little positive interpretation as far as that overhang, which is period correct. So we haven't done anything wrong. You guys have a great day. And if I get hit head on by a drunk driver again and get killed this time, happy Thanksgiving and a Merry Christmas and all that good stuff. So that should complete this video. And yeah, I don't think he wants to. Oh no, he doesn't want to be exploited anymore. He took off somewhere. Goodbye, people. Have a great day.